But we are seeing some quantities of gold. It shows gold, yeah, gold and silver have finally been found on Oak Island. The Lagina crew's hard work finally paid off, but it leaves a question. Are these a part of the mystic treasure, or is Oak Island, known for its hidden treasure, turning out to be a gold mine that is about to change the Lagina crew's lives forever? Let's dive in and find out. It is silver, but it does have a little bit of a lead content. Like, I only left these elements because they image really well. So, this right here is a William III shilling, silver, same diameter, and it matches the designs to AT wow. It was only when the crew paired up with Dumas Contracting Limited that they began to rebuild the 18th-century-old garden shaft, which is believed to be the original depositor of the long-lost treasure. They had several reasons to believe the treasure would be at the bottom of this shaft. The first reason was because they had discovered a collapsed secret tunnel just below the shaft, and two, because this mysterious tunnel was running toward the west in the direction of the baby blob. The baby blob is the area that tested very highly for traces of gold, silver, and other metals. The next step for the two combined teams was to begin their horizontal probe drilling, which they hoped would reveal to them the location of the treasure. Unfortunately, they instead caused a leak of ocean water that forced them out of the tunnel. They realized they had fallen into an ancient trap that litters this island, destroying all the work they had done to this point. They speculate that they hit the flood tunnel system, but at the same time, this disaster has validated many of the stories and legends surrounding the island. All the signs and booby traps come together to confirm that the legends about this island are real. The big goal is to get good, solid pieces of the shaft so they can do dendrochronology on it. That'll give them an excellent date. They have concluded that the volume and speed at which they flooded the garden shaft can only truly be explained by deliberate actions done to stop treasure hunters as they arrive. Jack explains that things have changed all around the island. Lot 5 is their first stop, and they describe all the different discoveries and clues they have been able to unearth in this area. They have found ancient structures nobody knew about in Lot 5, as well as artifacts that are dated from as far back as the 1200s to the 1700s. There have even been ancient coins and tokens found in this lot. One thing about these finds is that they only become more intriguing with time, so they have Laird and his team working in the area even now. Since they have so much evidence of treasure in the money pit, the crew has been searching the rest of the island for more clues as to who had created this mystery on the island. The western portion of the island could hold the answers. Lot 5, a 4-acre portion of land, was first purchased a few years ago by Rick, Marty, and Craig from the estate of Robert Young. Since this purchase, they have continued to make new discoveries in that area, all of which have given them new suspects as to the person who left all the traps, secrets, and treasure on the island. One of the suspects left behind 4 Roman coins which go back 2,000 years. Yeah, this is, clearly Roman design, so is it a Roman coin? Absolutely, yeah. 2 for 2. They found an old barter token that they have connected to the lead cross found in Smith's Cove back in 2017 and is associated with the Knights Templar. They have also found iron tools linked to Sir William Phipps, who was an English politician in the 17th century. This link led everyone to speculate that a whole chest of Spanish silver could be buried in the money pit. These finds were made near stone foundations, one which is rectangular and the other rounded, near the shoreline. The archaeologists are busy digging and uncovering an incredible stone structure that is much larger than anyone imagined. This has become a designated special place for the crew after all the astonishing finds they have made. This special designation will help protect these sites and allow them to dig in an archaeological fashion that will protect the context in which these items were left behind. Already, they have been able to determine how the shape of the structure they are studying varies in size, curvature, and quality of construction. Due to their great care, they have determined how the newer section has a very intentional design and speaks to the theory that this is a project spanning multiple generations. They speculate that perhaps the people behind this could have been living in this area while building the money pit. Gary and Peter arrive at Lot 4 and are about to go over all of the spoils they discovered around the big feature. Their job will need the use of metal detectors as they are going to be searching more than 10 tons of spoils that were collected along the shoreline of Lot 5. They have found items that vary in age all along the stone line foundation, amongst them a 14th-century barter token and 17th-century tools. They have also found materials that match substances discovered 100 feet deep in the money pit, as well as matching things found in Low Cone E, which have been linked to an 800-year-old cross. Gary and Peter are determined to find something that can tell them when the feature was created and why. After some searching, Gary finds a cut coin. This means that it could be a Spanish coin, likely made of silver. We found a cut coin. Okay, and if this is a cut coin, mate, it could well be a Spanish coin. Gary notes that the cut is very clean and deliberate, as that is how they used to make change with their coins. This could potentially be a Spanish treasure coin. During the 18th century, European nations like Spain, England, and France were colonizing the world and establishing trade routes and outposts throughout the Americas. During this time, it was common for the military and for outlaws like pirates to cut coins to pay their crews. Gary and Peter know that the Lagina brothers, Rick and Marty, will be delighted with their find. They head over to the lab, proud of their work. At the Oak Island lab are the Lagina brothers, along with Jack, Laird, and Emma, who will assist them in learning more about their find. Laird immediately confirms it's a cut coin. Jack notes it has been quartered, and Emma says she will run it through the CT scanner to get an image to find small details and features on the coin. They will use a SkyScan CT scanner to X-ray and magnify the image into a three-dimensional model. Emma notes that this quick scan only shows surface-level scratches, but that a longer scan will give them more detail. They decide that while they wait for this highly detailed scan, they can search the area for more scans. Rick and the rest of the team get together for a meeting where Marty and Craig join them via a video conference app. The report on the silver coin is in, and everyone wants to hear the news. Emma explains that the detailed scan she did revealed faint engravings on one side of the coin, and the XRF map scanner showed that the silver coin contains some lead. The XRF scanner uses beams of X-rays, which give different colors to different elements that are present on the surface of various objects. So it's an English shilling from the 1690s. Oh yeah, you can see the ponytail, yeah, and the little two triangles. It's a little ribbon. Wow, that's a shocker. The engraving of GV and the design on the left and right side matches some marks on a William III shilling and has the same silver composition in diameter. This 1690 English shilling is not a Spanish silver coin, but is still interesting as it proves that the area they were searching in could have been inhabited around the 1600s. They are disappointed this is not a clue toward their Spanish treasure theory, but they now have reason to believe that someone was working or hiding something in Lot 5, perhaps even a soldier being paid for some service. The Oak Island historian Doug CRRA is reminded of a book about the British military that attempted to recover William Fye's treasure on the island all those years ago. In this book, Doug references, titled Oak Island and Its Treasures, the authors dictated an amazing tale of a covert operation that took place on Oak Island after Sir William Phipps allegedly buried a vault of treasure in the Money Pit area. According to the book, English allies of Sir William made a number of failed attempts to retrieve the treasure on Oak Island in the late 1600s. This shilling could be proof that the English military were once on Oak Island. If Doug Crowell is right, this piece could be connected to failed treasure recovery operations. They never found the treasure, and adding in the gold and silver particles present in the water tests conducted on the island, the clues all point to the treasure still being on the island. This find and their searches in Lot 5 have just become more vital and significant than ever before. This incredible discovery has changed the game for the Oak Island crew. The sense that they are closer to answers than ever before becomes truer every day. Do you think they will discover the treasure after collecting these pieces of evidence? Let us know in the comments down below. Please do not forget to subscribe and turn notifications on so you never miss an update. Might there be a chance here to discover the treasure once and for all? Sure, there are all of these clues that strongly suggest this area holds significant interest. Rick Lagina has finally found a breakthrough on the mysteries of the infamous Oak Island. They just found something so bizarre that proves that gold is here on this island. Did they find a hidden chest that has a map to the actual treasure? Well, in this video, we are going to find that out. Craig Tester and Steve Guptill, along with Alex Lagina and the rest of the crew, are gathered to begin the latest large-scale excavation with the hope that they will uncover the second shaft, over 100 feet deep and built in the early days of the 18th century, believed to be only a few feet southeast of the original money pit. To do this, they will be digging up the first-ever searcher shaft on Oak Island. Their current goal is to obtain some pieces of the shaft and conduct dendrochronology on it, which will be able to tell them the year this wood was formed on a tree. According to Craig, if anything will be able to tie them back to the original money pit, it would be shaft 2. The tree rings they spot on the wood will tell them when it was cut down. If they can uncover and confirm the date to around 1805, they will not only be able to locate the original money pit, but also find the source of the precious metals they have detected in the area. They excavate a big piece of wood they believe could have belonged to one of the long walls, but the question remains, does this belong to shaft 2? According to Rick Lagina, the second shaft is like the Holy Grail in terms of significance. They are closer than ever to finding the money pit. The wood they pull out is rounded and thick, which Craig believes is the outside of the tree and could be excellent for their testing. They take multiple samples of this wood when Marty Lagina arrives on site, and they decide to use a mirror to take a closer look at what's down there by reflecting light into the dark corners. Marty describes how incredible it is what people in the past were able to accomplish with their limited technology, but also how they need to think to find the money pit. Gary uses his metal detector and finds a signal in one of the scoops of dirt, pulling out a rosehead spike, which remains in great condition, possibly from the 1700s. Between the 1780s and mid-1800s, rosehead spikes were created for construction. This could be another clue. They note a lot of boards in the dark pit, and they decide to try and take some of those beams off the walls. Rick notes the mix of older wood and how the second shaft was built in the early 1800s, likely a great match to that old wood. If they find a match between that wood and this time frame, they will have the first discovery shaft on Oak Island, an amazing accomplishment. The operator of the excavator is flying blind but being instructed by Scott as they carefully maneuver the excavator's bucket down this shaft and scrape it along the walls for wood samples. However, they face a setback when their first sample falls out of the bucket and splashes into the water below. This is a great challenge, but Billy, the operator, triumphs as he pulls out a massive beam of wood. Gary then goes to check if there is any metal in the wood by passing a detector over it. When there is no signal of metal, he determines this is a good sign as it suggests a very antiquated style of construction. The first ever searcher shaft on Oak Island. True. Well, we think that we know of. Yeah, that's right. Now they ask themselves if someone could have reconstructed the top part of shaft 2 after it was originally built in 1805. They may have found the evidence to find the original money pit. This area is a landmark for them. This operation has been an incredible success. Back at the Oak Island Research Center, Marty has met with a few people who will be involved in the well drilling and to get on the same page as they move forward. Marty Lagina explains that he has been focused on the metals detected in the water. A few weeks back, some scientists had broken down the results of the testing they had conducted on the island and zeroed in on a yellow district, which had persistently high levels of copper, lead, zinc, and tin. Their testing has them looking at a 2,500-foot region known as the P. Dr. Michelle believes that what they are looking for is in the golden egg section they have, so Marty is determined that this is where they will be drilling all the wells to better evaluate the area. The next morning, the crew gathers to begin their testing and digging. While drilling in the golden egg, they have come across evidence that suggests a possible structure in the area at a depth of almost 100 feet. Mike from Choice Solid Drilling explains that the sample he pulled out is soft at the top, and we learn that there is no wood in the sample, but this is a good sign as it points to them getting close to something. Marty believes that if there is something there, they will find it in that hole. Peter suggests taking some tests of the water for metal testing, and they decide to ask Dr. Spooner to take a sample later that afternoon. This continues as one uninterrupted paragraph while maintaining every word from the original text. Things begin to become somewhat chaotic as a pottery instructor asserts that adding saline or ocean water to clay causes its surface to bloom. The kiln firing process produces a beautiful salt patina. Can you imagine the ancient Romans using ocean water to produce these beautiful orange peel-textured pipes? Mind-blowing! Let's discuss the pottery object discovered by Lard on the island. Elle believes it dates from the first half of the 18th century, but who knows? It could, after all, be a conduit. What is it, though? It does not appear to be a conventional straight pipe. Not every conduit needs to be straight. This component may be included in a conduit system with a radius of 12 to 14 inches. What is this then? Similar to the redware discovered on Oak Island, this object was crafted from clay. It could be a piece of the puzzle. Let us introduce you to the Romans once more. They were skilled at installing pipelines. Instead of using a single large conduit, they created intricate pipelines comprised of numerous smaller pipes, enabling them to regulate water flow and pressure adequately. A unique archaeological image of a Roman pipe reveals the sophistication and complexity of their systems. What is the future? Oak Island may have had a comparable system. You are in store for one more astounding realization. Are you still familiar with the Great Quadrilateral? Recently, essentials have begun to appear in unexpected places. Additionally, they were discovered at the Israeli castle of Belvoir. Are you serious? These nails found throughout Notre Dame date to the 1160s and were used to secure stones together during construction. Discuss prehistoric engineering techniques, then. What does this signify for Oak Island? Well, it's all speculation. We are merely investigating the options for fun. But here's a wild idea. What if these materials discovered on Oak Island were used in an architectural marvel? They may have been part of an intricate structure that required precise stone binding. What is the future? Everything fits into the Oak Island arrangement. Let's mention the stone wall they discovered before we conclude. Even though it is not a wall in the traditional sense, it resembles a circle of pebbles in that it is filled with trash. What is this then? Underneath it, charcoal was discovered. There is still a great deal of data to locate and integrate. Subscribing to the channel will provide you with access to more blues from the world of mysteries. As we conclude our investigation of Oak Island secrets, it is important to note that all hypotheses remain speculative. However, the investigation of potential connections between historic hydraulic systems, Roman engineering, and ancient furnaces adds an exciting dimension of intrigue. As the mission continues, more and more Oak Island mysteries are revealed. We will meet you there in a minute if you click on the video links that appear to find out what discoveries by explorers astonish the entire globe. The Oak Island team steps back so that the Dumas Contracting Company team can start drilling. In this episode, the business is ready to start the job and has everything it needs. Is it possible that new things will be found? How did the team get past problems to reach their goal? The most important question is, where is the wealth that was buried? Stay tuned as we keep looking for the treasure that has been hidden for a long time. Early in the morning, the drilling company starts by planning how to dig the yard shaft. All the way down, for about 6 hours, the flooded water has to be drained out of the guard shaft. Then, debris and artifacts have to be pulled out, and the challenges test the human imagination. Prepare to be astounded because reality is more magnificent than your wildest dreams. It's the Lagina brothers again.